Hey, this is Patty Negri, and you are listening to the Paranormal Zone.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen, but it does happen.
A ghostly apparition in the dark of night.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Well, Mike, it is 2026, the premiere episode of the Paranormal Zone for 2026. But I want to make sure of one thing.
Yes.
Are you alive? Because I was concerned for this past, 8 days or so.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, I didn't. You and I text quite often,
Yes, we do.
a fair amount, and then, well, I hadn't heard from you. And last I heard that you were like basically on your. Well, I won't go as far as saying your deathbed, but apparently you felt pretty darn close. But are you okay? Are you rip roaring, ready to go? This is Paranormal Zone 2026. We need to be functioning on all cylinders here, firing on all cylinders. Is that a possibility?
Well, I'm missing on a couple, but I'm fine though. Mary and I were both extremely ill, like I'm sure many other people across the country have been. The
Hands up right
rhino
here.
virus or whatever the whatever.
Yeah.
The hell, swine flu. I don't know.
Why don't you grow like a giant ivory horn in the middle of your head when you get the rhino virus? It seems like that's something that should go along with it. Something cool like that. But no, you just get sick.
I don't know, and I really don't know what it is or what I have or is still dripping out of my body as we speak.
Oh, not literally, boys and girls. He's not sitting in a pile of goo right now.
Yeah. I wouldn't go into the doctor unless I was like I had like pneumonia or something like that, and I couldn't.
Pneumonia, yes.
Yeah.
Well, one thing's for sure: no matter what virus Mike was suffering from, it didn't affect his spelling skills or any such thing, or his pronunciation skills. I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't. There was nothing that you could have taken, nothing you could have bought to help soothe your pain. Yeah,
you get that that pneumatic in your lungs, and you just can't breathe. Pneumonia.
The pneumonia. I know.
Yeah.
And I raised my hand briefly too, because it was a nasty week for me for the Christmas week. It was like, God dang it, what the hell? So
illin, but just illin.
Yeah, like Run DMC back in the day. We were illin for sure.
Not in this way.
Not in the cool illin way. People are just screaming at us right now. These old white folks using the word illin. But,
yeah.
Well. But it is good to see you, Mike. And Happy New Year to everyone. We hope that they had some safe and fun-filled holidays this past, 10 days now. January 3rd. It is Saturday, January 3rd, 2026. And yes, this is the aforementioned Paranormal Zone. If you're new to this program, this is your weekly dose of all things, you guessed it, paranormal, strange, and mysterious. My name is Patrick, and I am joined by the aforementioned Illin co-host with the ghosts, the paranormal poster boy himself, Mr. Shatsky. Hi, Shatsky.
Mr. Shatsky, yes, and you are Cranium Man.
Cranium Man! Yes.
Yeah. You must think you're quite intelligent.
No, I'm referring to the size of my head. That's what I'm referring to. So nothing to do with intelligence.
Just large, bulbous head with a little bit of hair on top.
Just a wee little bit. Yeah, I look like Sloth from the Goonies when I take my hat off. Just kind of
pointy
canonical head.
Colonical.
Canonical. Not colonical. Gosh, clear your ear out as well there, my friend. I'm assuming you have like a week of earwax built up from your sickness as well.
Colonical head. I was picturing something really gross coming out of your mouth very quickly.
No, nothing of that nature whatsoever. No, I am jokingly referring to the size of my ginormous skull. And I usually have to walk around with a support system, otherwise I will tip over from one way or the other. I kid, I'm not that disfigured, just a little bit. No, okay. That's one thing that we don't do very often anymore, Mike. We don't really post like visuals of ourselves on social media anymore. No one knows what we look like anymore.
Well, the illusion is better than the reality of what we actually look like.
Well, people picture like just a suave, svelte radio DJ stud when they hear your voice, and I think they envision like a Muppet when they hear me.
He's a lot older than I thought he was. Dang, what's that all over his face? Is that supposed to be a beard? What's he wearing on his head? What a freaking idiot! Anyway.
I'm not sure if you're referring to me or you, but we'll go with it.
Oh, me. Oh, you do have hair on your face. You got to look.
Oh, yeah, I got to. Yep, you got to inspect closely. Yeah, got to get real close and take a look at the multitude of whiskers.
The whiter mine gets, the more clear it is. I don't know.
Well, I guess it's kind of good. It's age. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. But gosh dang it, we're going around in circles again.
Yes,
it is
like we do.
But hey, why not start off 2026? This is, believe it or not, the beginning of the 13th year of existence for the Paranormally Zone. Wow.
And what shall the first soundbite be of the year?
Ooh,
get on with it.
That's that's a good point. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even have the soundboard pulled up. What's wrong with it? Well, I have to play my absolute favorite for sure. So,
there
we go. Yeah. What? Can't beat that one.
The bowels of my innards.
No. Yeah, maybe it was some sort of demonic entity that was causing you to struggle with the recorder at the time too. So
I just did we ever come to the conclusion that was probably me, because we joked back and forth about it, but it's like, is that me or is that some demonic evil demon coming out of my asshole? I don't know.
Well, we joke about its origins as far as like what part of your body it came from, because you would insist that it was like your gurgly acid reflux or something. But I think you were just making a weird odd noise. Yeah, that was your mouth for whatever reason.
It just sounds so odd to me. I don't think I've ever made a sound like it since.
I don't think so either. So I'm so glad that we have it for prosperity, because it's here forever.
Oh, yes. So. It's already been there for prosperity for quite a number of years, actually.
Isn't it kind of fun to think of it? Like when you and I are long gone, very possibly this will outlive us. I mean, someone's going to be listening to that sometime. You would think, maybe, hopefully. Who knows?
Yeah, that's that Borborygmi sound guy. Borborygmi.
Ooh, see,
and
there's that DJ voice.
Yeah. I remember where I was standing and how I was standing and where you were standing and everything. I remembered it in my mind like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
But I don't remember making the sound. Oh, well.
Because you were fiddling with the recorder, so you were focused on the recorder. So
yeah, me and recorders do not get along.
Yeah,
at all. Which reminds me, that analog tape I'm throwing away.
Oh, it's just no good,
wasted
huh?
Garbage. Yes, 2 hours of Boyd House is just all I hear is very loud.
But you still have digital. You still have a lot of digital, though.
Yeah, but I go to number 12, and it's not there. It's not there.
I thought it was number 10.
How many times have I? No, you told me 12.
Nope, I said 10. I said it was the 10th one.
Then we still have hope.
They're okay.
Okay. Yeah. I need a one of those tape recorders that you just, to record, you push the 2 buttons
Yeah.
And then you just let it go.
Then you let it go. Yeah.
Ugh.
See, now I'm concerned. Maybe I did tell you 12. I could have sworn I said 10.
Oh,
but...
well, I'll look at it all anyway. I mean, I have been, but I haven't been looking at it all. I've been focusing on the wrong spots.
Gurgly Mike, was it? What do you think it was? Number 10? Okay. So he was in agreement there.
Yes. And
Mike's other favorite sound bites. Yes. Yes. So are we going to have a good time at the Villisca house? Mm-hmm. And that is going to happen, boys and girls.
Is Patrick going to faint after being slapped very hard? Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not going to even go with the you're going to get your slapped in the face, because that place is so haunted.
Yeah, exactly.
It just has to go with the flow of it from the second we get there until we're in the vehicle leaving.
Yeah, even as hard as it may be, you and I will probably have to put some of our humor on the back burner while we're there.
Well, it might forcibly come out. I don't know.
Well, that's what. No, I was going to say that we are not eliminating it by any means, because that's going to be like a self-soothing aspect of our time. Yeah. We're going to have to help maintain our sanity while we're there. But at the same time, I'm thinking some of our methods, our tone, maybe if some of the alleged spiritual activity at the Villisca house is true, the entities there will not appreciate our humor. So
no, probably not. I have a hard time thinking, and I'm going to have to do this, but I just the thought of it, but just holding my hand on the axe marks in the wall and ceiling.
Oh, yes.
And just concentrating on that. And I'm so, I don't want to say afraid, but I can
You're feeling it.
Feel the thought of what is just going to flash through my head.
Oh, boy.
But it'll be an experience.
Yes. Something that we need to do, and it will happen. It will happen. We have a good topic, believe it or not, today, boys and girls.
We do.
Something that I find absolutely fascinating. And I apologize beforehand if we butcher the pronunciation of this.
No, you got it. I think you got it.
This phenomenon, the term that describes this phenomenon, the idea of, encountering the spirit of someone who is still alive. It's based upon a Scandinavian term. I believe it's based upon Scandinavian folklore. Vardøger. 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 We have a couple of interesting, unique, maybe experiences that could relate to this conversation. We are going to share some creepy, cool examples of people who have allegedly encountered such, I don't know, entities, whatever.
Expound on our own thoughts about it.
Expound on our own thoughts, for sure. Yeah, I find this absolutely fascinating. So I'm looking forward to where the conversation goes. And it is good to see you, Mike. Let's start this off. If you are new to the program, as I mentioned before, we focus on all things paranormal, strange, and mysterious. And we start off every episode with a little segment we call Ghost Gab. I don't, unfortunately. I know, I still don't have the music for it. I have really loud, obnoxious, heavy metal type music, but I'm not going to blow everybody's eardrums up. Yeah, yes, exactly. See, Mike knows it. So we'll start it off with a Mike. It is now time for Ghost Gab. Ow! Yeah, there we go. That worked. Maybe. I don't know. Was that impressive, Chris Walken?
God damn it.
Oh, okay. Apparently I suck.
Definitely not impressed, I guess.
Not impressed at all. Ugh. Well, we'll be as brief. I'll be as brief as I can on this one, Mike. I was at my 81-year-old mother's house the other day. Yeah, we were just shooting the proverbial shit, right?
I love your 81-year-old mother's stories.
Yes. Oh.
She's such an awesome lady.
And we have so many, and she sends best wishes to you. She asks how you're doing all the time, and so I give her updates.
Tell her I'm catching up to her in age.
Well, she'll probably stay ahead of you, no matter what. That's kind of funny how aging works like that. But I was talking with my ma, and our conversations are going any number of ways. And at one point, a lady was brought up in our recollections. I was talking about these people I remember from like my childhood, and I remember seeing certain folks, walking around town all the time in this, fairly small but growing town that I live in now. And I think it's over population 4,000 now, Mike. So we're growing by leaps and bounds.
That's like almost doubled from when I lived there.
Yeah, it's officially over $4,000. So,
and that's not even during tourist season.
That's not even during tourist season, which it triples, I believe. I mean, I think the estimate is that gets up to around 15,000 during the summer.
I remember that. You can't turn left.
You can't. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I love encountering people. I'll never forget the moment when I'm waiting in line at one of my favorite restaurants here. And it was busy, and this was years ago, and a tourist family came in behind us, and they were waiting behind me for probably about 30 seconds. And the lady immediately is like, "Oh my God, don't they know we come here every summer and we have to wait?" It's like, oh my Lord. So anyways.
Wow.
Yeah.
Entitlement.
Yeah. I feel entitled a wee bit, do we? So chatting with my mom,
and what we do for their economy,
right? 100%. And talking about these characters, that I remember from my childhood. And I remember seeing this one gal in particular who always used to she always just walked every time I saw her out. She was just walking. She didn't have a vehicle. I know very little about her, but I remember the physicality of her. I just remember how she looked, and I'm just being upfront. That's what we are in the Paranormal Zone. I remember as a little kid. Well, let's just say she was. Oh, how can I say this politely? She was. I don't know how the hell she didn't suffer from back problems her entire life. Let's just put it that way.
She had an endowment.
She was, to speak. Physically detrimental endowment, where it was, I mean, I mentioned disfigurement earlier on my own part. I'm not saying she was disfigured in that department, but it was like, oh my gosh, you felt sorry for her type thing, right?
The only way she can see her shoes if she takes them off and holds them up in front of her.
Right. So, yes. And then anyways, bad jokes aside, I'm not going to say anything.
No, she's probably deceased by now.
Well, that's where I'm getting to.
Okay.
Because, I mean, even to what I thought was this very day, I still saw her. I mean, she's still walking, to and from wherever, she may be going, her house to the bank, to the store and stuff. And
is this a local lady or a
yes? Yeah.
Person? Okay.
No, local lady. She's here all year, and
okay.
like I said, she's one of the several characters I remember from my childhood, and I'd still see her up to, like I said, to 2025. And I swore I saw her last time was just like last month or 2 months ago now in November.
Mm.
And she was one of the characters that my mother and I brought up, and my mom goes, "Oh yeah, she just passed away," and I was like, "Oh really?" And it's like, "Oh that." That must have been just like not even like a month or so ago, because I just saw her in November, and my mom's like, no, it was recent, but it was a while ago, and like, well, it couldn't have been because I just saw her, like I said, November, walking like she always walks, and long story short, we look up the Cease Funeral Home in town here. My mother knew her name. We typed in her name. Boom! There, her picture popped up. It's like, oh yes, that's sad. She did pass away. Yep, she did pass away in November. Aha, I was right. Then I looked at the year, 2023, that she passed away. So I was like, wait a minute, that has to be wrong. I know I just saw her in November. You cannot mistake seeing her. And she was walking the sidewalk like she always does. And my mom's like, no, you couldn't have, because obviously 2023, it was a while ago. Yeah, so that because
you remember that bullet bra so much.
No, She was an elderly person by this time. She was in her mid 70s.
Right.
I mean, not elderly, but
So you remember that elongated bullet brow very much.
yes, let's say she was making extra trails in the snow at that point, so
and not being a knuckle dragger. And I've
no,
got to stop joking about the dead
know
because
she has passed
good.
away, and
Yes.
R.I.P.
God
all
rest
respect,
her soul. Yes,
all respect.
absolutely.
But that got me to thinking, and that was like going to be our original focus of discussion, and it's definitely going to be, it's definitely relatable in a way to what we're going to talk about. But I don't know, Mike. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I swear to flipping God, I just saw her again, not even 4 or 5 weeks ago, walking her usual route. But nope, she's been passed away for over 2 years. And I'm telling you, this woman, you cannot mistake who she is.
Right.
So what the hell?
Well,
I don't know what I saw.
Well, I think it's going to fall right into what we're going to be discussing. I think you need to really have the thought of, and not just fall into like, oh, that's what this was, because time frame, mistaken identity, even though it's so identifiable to you.
Yeah.
I mean, but I can't say, because I mean, you've known this since you were a little kid.
Yeah.
Like I have memories of people from when I was a little kid that will not go away. Just of somebody that my parents knew or that I had known as a child, whatever. But you could very possibly have seen just at the right time this residual of this person that did this so often.
Yes.
Walking, and so often that was her thing. You saw it all the time as a kid. It was, which makes you able to identify what you saw, but that timeline is just so messed up.
Yes.
That it's got to make you wonder. It's got to make you wonder.
Oh, it absolutely makes me wonder, and it's weird for sure. And it's also at the same time, I'm like, it's a little disconcerting because, as you know, Mike, we joke about this. We're getting older, obviously, and it's like, I swear to God, memories all bunch themselves together. It's like I run into somebody I hadn't seen, or I feel like I hadn't seen for like, oh, I just saw you, 2 days ago. No, we haven't spoken in 5 years, Patrick. It's like, well, what? You know what I mean? Like, all those memories are just scrunching together. I was like, there's no way I screwed this one up. There's no way I saw her over 2 years ago, and I think it was less than a month and a half ago now.
Yeah, that's too much.
So, it's so lifelike, so lifelike. Yeah. It's like that's another thing that I hope that we dive into about the idea of ghosts as appearing just like you and I, just like the living. Looks like you could go up and touch them and hug them.
Yeah,
because they're there
unconsciously. Yeah, you're going to be unconsciously watching for this woman now.
I know, and if I see her again,
you have to stop. You have to see if you can approach her, even if it's just passing by saying hello.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, it wouldn't do any harm, I guess, unless, well, I don't know. I don't know how creeped out she'd be by some stranger like me. Hold on!
You could run up and say, I thought you were dead! No!
And give her a giant hug. I missed you! Yeah,
and then
like,
you
who the
pass
hell are you?
her.
Oh, boy. Yeah, so I don't know. I thought that was a decent little ghost gab segment to segue into the topic at hand. The Vardøger. The Vardøger. Great sounding word. Great sounding word. Yeah. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to figure out how to, for the title of the show yet. Not sure how if I'll be able to. The official spelling of that, like the Scandinavian spelling, the O part has that slash through the middle. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure I can do that, but I don't know if I want to put the effort into figuring it out.
That's okay.
So some people will look at it and say a Vardøger. Like, no, it's a Vardøger. So fascinating possibility. So let's dive into some of this, Mike, shall we?
Yes. Take a deep dive.
Deep dive. And I was all prepared to do another topic, like the topic at hand, focusing more so on like encounters with what we thought were the living, but they ended up being ghosts. You hear the stories of like the phantom hitchhikers, people picking up hitchhikers, and I even had Resurrection Mary, exactly. I even found a perfectly encapsulated version of Telly Savalas's paranormal encounter that I find absolutely fascinating. I saw him on the Celebrity Ghost Stories, however many years ago, and
That's
he
an
had
awesome show.
he had an encounter that changed him from a non-believer to a believer.
With a person, baby.
Yes. Hey, Telly Savalas is right here, everybody. Look at him, Kojak himself. Well, Mike, a Vardøger is a phantom appearance and or behavior of an individual just before the real individual actually arrives and engages in the same situation, in the same behavior. The Vardøger will have the real individual's appearance, the real individual's voice, his or her scent, their personality, everything. Everything about them will be identical. People witnessing a Vardøger will believe they have just interacted with or seen the real individual, only to be shocked to realize that this was not the case. An example they give, just envision this. You're sitting in your garden. Do you even have a garden, Mike? I don't think you have one. Pretend you have a garden.
I've got an octopus's garden.
He's got an octopus's garden. That's right. And you're sitting in your octopus's garden. And then your spouse or your friend or whomever walks up in the front of the path of your garden. You have a conversation. Then they walk into the house and everything just seems hunky-dory and normal. But then a few moments later, the real person themselves walks up the front path and greets you. And the aforementioned encounter, as if it had actually not even happened. They are actually oblivious when you explain that you had just talked to them. It's a bit like deja vu, but in reverse. You realize that that what you experienced was more of a premonition of what was about to happen. Vardøgers, on occasion, will repeat the same action on a number of occasions before the real individual arrives, all in the same day over any time scale. Freaky. Yeah, it's okay. Like the person who's encountering it definitely can interpret it as like a premonition, but then like what is the source of that premonition? Where is that energy coming from to create this illusion of an actual person?
And to what end? What would be the purpose? I mean,
that's a great question. What is the purpose?
Is there something that profound that comes out of this, or is it just like an experience that makes you think deeper? I don't know. There's got to be a reason for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like your spirit is getting ahead of you, like
right. Well, your spirit is totally separate from your physical being, as an entity in itself.
Mm-hmm. It's almost, a corny analogy I just had is, both you and I love the movie The Abyss.
Oh yes.
And how like the underwater, like the NTIs, the underwater aliens, air quotes, they send out that probe, so to speak, of the energy that takes the shape of the water. Like you see the long extended hand of water basically going through the underwater submersible.
Right.
Or the oil rig, I should
water
say.
as its shape.
Yeah. Kind of sending it out as kind of a probe to kind of look what's out there, It's like
I love
would a Vardøger kind of be like a person's spiritual probe? And I'm not thinking about the alien, fingers up the rear probe type thing. Okay, so get your brain out of the gunner. I know. See, because we're clean, and non-explicit here on the Paranormal Zone. So
we are the epitome of cleanse.
The epitome of cleanliness. Yes,
cleanliness. Yes.
Clean cut humor.
There, I couldn't even come up with a word. Anyway,
what do you think about that idea of like that spirit being like a probing extension of yourself? And again, for what purpose? But for what purpose? Especially for such a benign, innocuous encounter like that. Well, I'm going to run into my spouse in the garden before I actually run into my spouse in the garden. What's the point of that? I can see it if you're maybe maybe saving them from some portents of doom, perhaps.
Yeah.
But these seem like simple. Like that example is a very innocuous, simple encounter. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's like like somebody leaving their house just because they need to get out and go for a walk. It's like, I just need a little bit of alone time, get the physical mindset out of my spiritual being, it depending on what you believe your soul is. I mean, as a separate entity that comes into the physical to create what you are throughout life as the two together for whatever learning experiences and sharing experiences, and when the spirit is in your physical, you're living that physical, even the spirit is living that physical and learning from that physical.
Oh, sure.
Maybe it's just a time of the spirit having to be away and maybe download some more information for itself on the level of the soul itself.
I like where you're going with that. It's almost, I think we agree that our spiritual self is of a higher level than our physical self, right? Our physical self, yes, our physical self is just like the vessel. It's just
it originally comes from somewhere with a knowledge more than what we have physically.
Yes, it's kind of, the body is kind of like the spirit's sleeping bag. It's just like all wrapped up in there.
Yes. Sleeping bag of skin and bones.
So maybe perhaps going along the lines of what you were talking about, the spirit, like you said, has to on occasion separate itself from that body because maybe the body itself is kind of holding it back. It's not allowing it to maybe cleanse itself as much as it needs, or not allowing itself to learn or download, like you said. It needs to be separate from the body on occasion to kind of reamp itself. I kind of like that idea.
Yeah. Is that a possibility, or is that limiting the high level of the soul itself, that it has to leave the physical? I don't know.
I don't think it's limiting. Yeah, I don't think it's limiting it at all, because I mean, my gosh, if we're going to intertwine the topics that we've talked about through the years, I mean, we've like wandering spirits or walk-ins and stuff like that. It's like I would tend to think that spirits, you can't put a number on them, right? I think they're like an infinite amount of entities, entities, or spirits out there, and there's a limited number of physical vessels out there, right? So they have to leave it. They have to, again, cleanse themselves, escape that vessel, to purify itself, perhaps. I mean, I'm pulling this out of my butthole right now.
Well,
sound gross.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. But I like that thought process. I think that's kind of neat. So at the same time, like the Vardøger, if it's in that moment of cleansing itself, it has to be self-aware that it's separated from the body. You'd think. Maybe would it be aware that it's separated from the body? Because if it was aware that it was not in the body form, but yet it still encounters, like that example we gave you, it encounters its spouse in the garden. To what end would that be? Why would it, feel the need to still encounter the physical if it was out there cleansing itself, so to speak?
Well, and maybe it is for the person that is still there witnessing this entity, or what it thought was a loved one or whatever. Maybe it's for the benefit of that person to open the mind a little bit, and to like have the questions of what could that be? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I kind of like that idea as well. Especially when they realize later on that it's like, wait a minute, I just saw you 10 minutes ago, but I didn't. Wow, that really opened my mind a bit to maybe look into this a little bit more.
Look at what it did for you. The large, endowed, breasted woman that you saw that has been gone for at least 3 years or
2 years now. Yeah,
2 years, and what it has opened your mind. It opened your mind enough to think
to
of
make
this,
us to think of this
share
topic.
with everybody that might listen to us possibly.
Yeah, right. Well, we thank you all. We thank you all for tuning in, by the way. If you made it this far, God bless you. I usually say this for the end of the podcast, but we'll do it midway through right now. If you do enjoy the podcast and you would like to support us, no better way to do that than to give our Patreon page a shot. You can sign up for as little as $1 a month. We have over 500 exclusive posts there, over 100 exclusive Patreon episodes, including our true crime exclusive podcast, Wicked Legacies, and our pop culture podcast, Retro and Randoms, which we just released episode 5 from season 3 yesterday, is now available for free. You can go listen to that one for free on the Patreon page. Just give you a little taste of some of the stuff that we have there. And again, you get to see Mike and I run around cemeteries and haunted houses, and most of the time we're fully clothed. Sometimes maybe not, but I was going to say that.
You know when to have the cameras off.
Some of our audio anomalies, well, all of our audio anomalies we've captured throughout the years in our very unprofessional investigations. But I think that we're getting pretty close to being fairly good at it. Fairly, and some interesting video footage, including that flipping UFO that we captured clear as day in the night sky over Standing Rock. I still cannot explain that unbelievable footage, and
that's still in your hands to if you decide for MUFON to come in on that.
If you're interested if you want to watch it, again, you can sign up for as little as $1 a month at the Patreon page. We'd love to hear your thoughts as to what something like that may or may not be. We think it's a straight up UFO. That's all that could have been.
And if you listen very closely right after the witnessing of this, if you got to listen really closely though, but you can actually hear Patrick filling his pants a little bit. Just a little bit. I thought, actually, if you listen really closely, obviously you get to pick up. So that's on there, clear as day. And we also ran into Chris Walken in the fields up there. He startled. He came walking in with the cows.
He did. Well, we ran into those flippant hunters that first time though, and they were like, "Oh crap!" They thought we were like authority and stuff, so they definitely reacted. And
they're out there hunting at nighttime for crying out loud.
Illegally. Yeah. So,
and then the cows. It's like
the cows.
I don't know. There was something odd about that. It was quite an experience.
They were very interested in us. Yeah, and one of them physically threatened to jump my bones. So
he wanted to mate with you in a bad way, but I don't think he was quite of age yet. He was
not quite of age. Yeah, he had to plow through that barbed wire. So thank God that was there. Along the same lines of a Vardøger, Mike, there's a phenomenon similar to this, and I think it could definitely fall into the same category, something called bilocation. Absolutely. The phenomena of bilocation is when the same person is seen in two different places, but of course, only one of them is the real person. This phenomena is almost a combination of doppelgangers and Vardøgers. Bilocation entities are again identical in every way to the real individual. They can be seen in a completely different place and doing something completely different to the real person, like a doppelganger. But like a Vardøger, they are more like a, quote, spirit copy of that individual, more true to the real person's nature. And they haven't got any malevolence, the malevolence of a doppelganger, which is interesting. I wasn't too familiar, to be honest with you, with the connection of malevolence and a doppelganger. I didn't know that supposedly, some nasty stuff goes along with the doppelganger version of yourself. I had never heard that before. I profess my ignorance of that one.
I don't really know a whole lot about it myself. I never have done a real deep dive into it. I mean, we've talked about it briefly, I believe, at different times. But
doppelgangers are absolutely unbelievably fascinating. But of course, my mind goes to, well, there's damn near however many 8 billion people on the earth. I mean, over time, chances are the human features.
Was China.
Was it? Okay. I mean, the chances of someone developing a face that is almost identical to you, I mean, it's not impossible just through the force of nature itself. But I'm not giving the doppelganger phenomenon its due diligence or its due credit here, because it is absolutely fascinating. But this is kind of like
most things. In most things there is a good and there is an evil. Like the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other.
The yin and the yang.
Yeah, the yin and the yang, the positive and the negative, the black and the white, and all that other stuff.
For sure.
But
anyway, Mike gets frustrated every now and then. He's just, his mind is overflowing with ideas right now, and so he just has to let out a little grunt every now and then. So.
I'm just still illing a little bit.
That's right. He's illing. And, I think Run DMZ could use this as a sample in their album. Yeah. Yeah. That's like the Fat Boys. Or remember those guys back in the day?
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Hell yeah.
You couldn't get away with that name anymore, but they were some large, fairly rotund musicians, rappers. Yeah. Mike just impersonated them perfectly.
And they made a hell of a movie, the Disorderly Orderlies or whatever, kind of a kickoff from the Jerry Lewis movie.
Oh man, I think that's just funny. Yeah. Yeah, it's perfect. There you go. Right there.
Making Bigfoot sounds.
Yeah, that sounded more like a mini Bigfoot. I apologize for that. So the malevolence of the doppelganger. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with that connection, but bilocation entities don't give you an exact premonitory experience of what is about to happen like a Vardøger does. Instead, bilocation entities go about their business as the real person would, but in a parallel reality. For example, one might think you see the real individual out walking in your neighborhood and sitting on a bench. You might even speak to them. What?
Yes, I'm listening. I had to clear my illing throat.
Hey!
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, I was coughing there. So hold on. One more, George. Okay, I think I'm back.
Yes.
So, for example, I'm fine now. You might think that you see the real individual out walking in your neighborhood and sitting on a bench. You might even talk to him. You might then casually mention to this individual the next day, the weather was much nicer yesterday when you were out walking. Only for them not to know what the hell you are talking about and be able to prove that they were in fact in a totally different place.
I would love to have that happen to me. I would.
That would be fascinating, but it would bother me, to be honest with you. I could not wrap my mind around that, and I would sit there and I would try to understand it, all the while knowing that it's impossible to understand it unless you just truly accept it as a paranormal phenomenon.
And that wouldn't always be easy either, because
no, of course not.
Your mind would be so boggled.
Yeah, and you're always trying to figure out, the rational point of view, the rational explanation. I've never personally had an experience like this, but like you said, that would be absolutely, absolutely fascinating. Terrifying, maybe. Creepy for sure. But fascinating. A bilocation. Two different people, however many different people, encountering you, different locations, when that is physically impossible. Yes, Mike.
I was just reminded of a time, and this is really weird. This is years and years and years. I don't know how long it was after I'd actually left Park Rapids, and I did text you because at the time I was in Park Rapids eating at, where the hell was it? It might have been that Schwartzwald's or something where you can sit, and you can look out the window and you can see the corner and the people walking. And I remember, I swear that I saw you standing on the corner by a street light.
Wow.
And it wasn't like it was a half a block away. And I'm like, that's Patrick. And I texted you even, I believe. And I said, I asked you if you were in town where I was seeing you when I was texting you.
Yeah.
And you had said, well, are you sure it was me? How did you recognize it was me? Did you see my bald head?
Would you shush?
No, really, you did say that. You were like being really glib about it, and it's like, well, okay, never mind.
Oh crap! I wish I could remember this.
I remember. I didn't until just now, but it just reminded me.
I think
of it as
I don't think you texted me. I think you texted my Vardøger. I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, I remember it very distinctly now that I remember it.
And I can tell you, I'm just for our listeners out there too. I mean, I've known this guy for decades now, and I know when something pops into his brain, I can see it in his face where it's just like you had like a moment of clarity right there. He's like, I just remembered that, and I
clarity 100 and confusion,
195% believe you. I absolutely believe you, but I don't remember that at all. I wish I did.
Well, and I'm not saying that it falls into this category, but
I was being a prick.
So
what? I don't want
not really a prick, but maybe you were going through some more of your bad times at that time.
Well, it's no excuse.
What you just need to be alone.
Yeah. I needed a big warm hug from the universe. Yeah, that's for sure.
That's crazy. I wish you would have remembered that. But that's all right.
That is bizarre though. But you were so certain that it was me that you texted me.
Yeah, that I actually texted you. Yes,
that's crazy. Oh wow.
Yeah.
And I think we've all probably had experiences like that. I know that I have. I'm struggling to think of examples where you swear to God you see someone. It's like, what the hell are you doing right here? And then like you mention it to them some other day when you actually, or some following, time capsule of sorts. And you mentioned,
right.
What were you doing here? I saw you. And it's like, and they're like, huh? No, I wasn't.
And it could have been such, different examples of this could be such a quick, short, benign kind of an experience that it's one of those things that would just slip your mind because it was such a simple little thing. And so easy for the person to say, "Oh no, that must be," just to let it go as I was wrong.
That's fascinating, though. Oh man, I really wish I could remember that. I believe you 195%. I can't pull that out of my memory bank. Again, I do have a few examples I would like to share before we wrap it up here. But there's another similar paranormal phenomenon along the same lines here, known as crisis apparitions. Not sure if you're familiar with crisis apparitions, Mike. Crisis apparitions are the spirit of an individual that appears to their friends and or relatives when the individual is going through something extremely distressing, such as being perhaps close to death, being attacked, going through something traumatic, being very emotionally down or ill. Did you see my crisis apparition, Mike? Was I reaching out to you during a time of despair?
That could be.
Wow.
At least you didn't just all of a sudden appear next to me where I was sitting.
That's very true. That would have been an entirely different type of freaky.
Yeah. Then I would have thought you died somewhere in there.
Oh.
I don't know.
Crisis apparitions are a sort of involuntary call for help or an attempt to reach loved ones in extreme circumstances. Wow.
Like somebody goes off the road and they're like unconscious in a ditch somewhere into the woods or something like that, and they haven't been found for a couple of days.
Have you heard? I know you've heard this because I think we've talked about this before. That reminds me of that fascinating story. It's true to us, and it's true to the man who reported that he was a police officer. The man who arrived at the scene of a car that went off like a bridge, and it was underwater. It was a mother and her 3 kids, and like the cop heard like a voice, they're down there. The kids are down there. Go get the kids.
Yep.
And he was able. And a long story short, the woman was like dead. It was dead on impact. There's no way that the mother could have been the one saying that, and he swore he heard it coming from like the car.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, that kind of gave me the chills remembering that.
Paranormal 911.
Oh, and yeah.
It actually the police you could hear this all on his body cam or whatever.
Yes.
You could see the car down there, and you could hear a woman's voice, "Help, my children," whatever.
That's what it was. Yeah, yes.
It was actually on the recording, and you distinctly, no mistaking, a woman's voice saying this stuff.
Oh, I just got chills again. That's right.
The kids were saved, but the woman, like you said, she had been dead the entire time.
That is the epitome. That is the epitome of a crisis apparition, would it not be?
I would say so.
I mean, unfortunately,
even after
after her unfortunate tragic death, but still
right.
reaching out to save her kids. Wow, that's pretty.
That's pretty
intense.
Or like the spirit or a figure being seen standing on the side of the road. You know, people pass by and there's like more than one person. I saw this person standing on the side of the road.
Yes,
looked like they may have needed help, only to find out later that the car or whatever that had gone off the road was down in these trees or whatever where this figure was seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, I tell you, I sometimes feel sorry for pseudo skeptics.
Yeah.
It's like, explain that, bub.
Yeah. It's just a piece of gas that is going from your inner bowels and it's moving up to your stomach.
Yes.
And then it hits an air pocket and it explodes. And that's how it manifests.
That's how exactly. It's yeah. You see a perfectly formed human shape, but all it is just expelled gas from other humans, somehow forming into an entity itself. Yeah.
The effect of methane on the brain.
See, there's that awesome DJ voice again. Ah, I'm envious.
Envious.
Finally, another very similar, and I am wrapping all these into the same phenomena. I think these are all the same thing, but just different names to them, basically.
Yeah. You know, slightly different levels, different occurrences, just in different names, but it's all in the same category. It's all in the same family.
This final example here, or this final phenomena, is known as phantom doubles. Phantom doubles are usually seen in close proximity with the real person. They can be doing something completely different to the real person, or they can be seen exactly mimicking their movements and actions. Doppelgangers can do this as well, but the difference with a phantom double, again, is the lack of malevolence. There's that doppelganger and being malevolent. I'm ignorant as far as that connection. An example they give is an account from the 1800s. A teacher was working at the blackboard, and simultaneously the whole class saw the same teacher standing outside the classroom, watching them benignly. The phenomenon only lasted a few moments before the entity faded and disappeared. Phantom doubles have even been known to be side by side with the real person, mimicking their every move, almost like a mirror or shadow. Kind of fascinating. Can you imagine sitting in a classroom in the 1800s or any classroom whenever your teacher's sitting there doing the work on the chalkboard, and all of a sudden you look out the window and there he is right there looking at you. It's like, what? I mean, what would that be about?
In the Matrix.
Is that a glitch in the Matrix type thing? Is that just,
who knows? Boy,
breaking through that veil and he didn't even realize? I mean, obviously he didn't realize it. Or the entity itself was just like, okay, I was just teaching and now I'm outside. Why am I looking at my classroom from the outside? I don't know. I love it. I love that
your
stuff.
brain can go crazy with explanations and what if it's this kind of thing?
Yeah.
And each one would just bring up more questions.
Which one of these is kind of hitting you closest so far right now? That crisis apparition one kind of hit me a little bit. I mean, all this is utterly fascinating in a creepy, cool way. But the idea that you distinctly remember seeing me and texting me, I wish I could remember that. And you just kind of casually, flippantly said, well, maybe you were having one of your down times because, whatever. I was going through a rough spot for a while there. And maybe you did see my disembodied, depressed spirit wandering Main Street.
Maybe it's somebody that just looked like you that just kind of walked out of the woods, and just trying to get into touch with the village folk, and it wasn't you at all.
Did this Vardøger or this crisis apparition, did it have a giant head? I mean, okay.
It dressed like you. I mean, you've always had that very distinctive Patrick attire.
Sure.
It's the stylish Patrick.
Oh yeah, I guess. Sure.
I
appreciate that.
And it wasn't. It wasn't couldn't have been all that long after I moved away. But
that's
so
fascinating.
It's not like it's weird, but it is fascinating.
I had mentioned, I know this is probably just a case of someone who looks identical to my nephew, but I saw my nephew, my brother Joe, my other, the brother from the same mother, Mr. Show, who fills in very adequately for you when you are not able to join the show. His son, is who I'm referring to, his son Aaron. I think you remember this when we were driving down to the Boyd house and we drove through like a quick little construction area. There was a guy there holding the sign. And I had to take double, triple takes. I'm like, what the hell? What is Aaron doing here right now?
I remember that, yeah.
He was identical to my nephew. I told Aaron this at Thanksgiving when I saw him. He just started busting out laughing and stuff. He's like, yeah, well, that obviously couldn't have been me because I wasn't anywhere near Boyd, Minnesota. Oh my gosh, that's just a creepy case of someone who looks identical to you in the same state a few hours away from you. But my God, I thought it was him.
I've had that happen to me more than once where somebody swore they knew me. And well, even to the point where I think the first trip I took out to Washington, it was on a bus. And the bus driver, she was just kept looking at me and looking at me and looking at me. And I was like getting kind of weirded out by it.
Yes.
And we got to this station where it was like a bus change or something. And she actually had me come in and talk to the people that she works with at this place, because I look so much like their boss or their manager or whatever.
Man, that's crazy.
And I went walking in with this woman, and these people were like just flabbergasted because I obviously wasn't this guy, but they could swear that I was the way I looked.
Wow.
Weird.
That's crazy.
Just, very odd. But anyway.
One of the examples I will share here before we wrap it up, I have a couple of stories I'd like to share. These are, quote unquote, true stories. These are reader submitted stories who have experienced such phenomenon. And I'll paraphrase the first one because it's rather long. I read it earlier. Long story short, it was a pair of friends who were, I believe they were overseas across the pond, and they had made plans to go to a certain locale. I believe it was via a train or the subway, whatever, to meet potential romantic connections, a couple of potential dates. So it's kind of like they were going to go meet people that they had been in contact with, and they're setting up a date. Okay. Mm-hmm. Long story as short as I can make it. One of the gals, when she arrived there, she was immediately kind of off put. First off, she didn't see her friend there yet. He had not arrived. And so she was waiting at the train station or wherever it was. And not once, or not twice, but 3 times she was approached by complete strangers who knew her name, asked her casual questions about like, oh, how is your grandma doing? I'm so sorry that she was just admitted to the hospital. And, throwing out just random personal questions, statements, as if they know this woman. And she is like
they
getting
all applied to this person.
Yes. And she was getting, as I said, being off put wasn't, that doesn't do it justice. She was getting freaked out. It's like, and I'm sorry, I don't know what you guys are talking about. And there might have been actually 4 encounters now that I'm thinking about. One of them included like this guy she described as being really snarky and arrogant. He was smoking a cigarette and he was like being really cocky about her, towards her, like in reference to like her upcoming like date. And she's like, who the hell are you? What are you talking about? How do you know this? Anyways, she finally convinced her other friend that they just needed to leave because she was getting freaked out too much. So they hop back on the train, and on the ride back, she just glances towards, the, I don't know what you want to call it, the waiting area. People are waiting to leave and depart and all that stuff. And she sees her potential date sitting there next to who she would describe as her doppelganger. Right there discussing as if they had just planned to meet on a blind date as she is carted off in the train, and she looks over there and she sees this date with herself. And she goes on to learn, as the story expands a little bit, that this man whom she encountered later on down the road, she says, what was this all about? Who were you with? And he was dumbfounded. He's like, what are you talking about? That is such and such, as in that was you? But it couldn't have been you because you're now standing in front of me. And we went on our dates. We went on to have like a brief relationship. You met my family, you met all this stuff. And the people who kept encountering her were people that he knew. That, he's telling her about this gal she's dating. But she's like, we never dated because you weren't at the train station. But yet I saw myself with you when I left. Crazy. I don't know how easy that was to follow that. Does that fall strictly under a doppelganger? Does that fall under an extreme version of a Vardøger? Oh my gosh, like a Vardøger leaving a secondary life for you? Crazy.
That's what I think it would be, because I mean, when she's standing there waiting for her date that she hasn't met yet.
Yes.
And all these people that come up to her obviously know who she is.
Yes.
But she doesn't know them.
Nope.
So it would have been like another one of her living her life there.
Yes.
That all these other people knew. It would have been like a parallel life. I mean,
exactly.
Especially if these people knew, like her grandmother was sick or whatever. I mean, and she was experiencing that same thing, but it's happening exactly the same way where they were meeting up at. It just sounds to me like a parallel life and how many of those are going on that we don't even know about?
Exactly.
In our own universe, there's parallel lives going on. Not
Isn't
just
that
like a
crazy?
break between, like the thin veil opens up a little bit between universes or parallel universes. They're actually happening on the same plane.
Yes.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy. Bizarre? Yeah, it is such a head scratcher. I mean, it's utterly fascinating, but it's also like it's mind blowing as well. But it's kind of creepy. It's a little creepy, if you ask me. Like if this is a legit thing,
so much more.
Yeah.
So like, much more going on that we can never understand.
Yeah. What's my parallel self doing right now?
Yeah, and not meant to understand right now.
Yeah, I love that story. And very briefly here, another example, another reader submitted occurrence, incident here. I guess it kind of went fairly viral. I totally missed it. I didn't find it until just today. Fairly viral social media post revolving around, again, the idea of the Vardøger phenomenon. One woman who shared her story, she wrote, she says, this happened late last year. My husband and I had recently moved into our apartment and we're still getting situated into the new space. One afternoon, he had left to go help his family with something and left me alone in the apartment. I didn't do much but lay around all day and finally decided to try taking a nap. I double-checked that the front door was locked because I was paranoid about living in an apartment building with neighbors so close by. Made sure the door was locked. I put on a YouTube video and I laid down on the couch to take a nap. Try to take a nap. After about 10 to 15 minutes of just laying there, I heard him, my husband, standing outside the front door trying to unlock it. Now, I know I wasn't asleep or hadn't fallen asleep because I was still listening to the same YouTube video. I didn't wake up, though. I rolled over and pretended to still be sleeping. I heard him come in, my husband, close the door behind him, and put something on the table. This is why she's laying there pretending to be asleep. He walked into the living room, and I could feel him standing near me. I actually heard him say something like, "Are you asleep?" And then heard him walk away into the back bedroom, where he then sat down in his computer chair.
She heard him, but she ignored him?
Yeah, she was ignoring him.
That's an asinine thing to do. Leave me alone, I'm sleeping. Good Lord. Anyway,
Maybe she was just really comfy on the couch. She didn't want to get up.
well, I would still acknowledge my spouse for crying out loud.
The woman explained that she really did eventually fall asleep and woke up an hour later. Going over to check on her boyfriend or slash husband, she was surprised to find that he was actually no longer there. However, when she called to see where he went, she was left stunned when he told her that he hadn't been home at all. She went on, she said, I started freaking out. Who the heck was in my house? I ran over to the front door to make sure it was still locked. Hopefully, I had actually fallen asleep and dreamt the whole thing. But the door was now unlocked, and there was a pile of mail sitting on a table that was not there before. When my husband got home, I told him the whole story. He seemed to think that I was dreaming, but we cannot explain how the mail got brought up or how the door was unlocked since they have the key. Only he and her have the key. We checked the whole apartment for signs of anything missing, but everything was fine. To this day, I do not nap in my apartment because of this. Creepy. What the hell was that all about? Was that that's a classic, if true, classic example of a traveling Vardøger spirit, just kind of getting a little ahead of its physical self there. Fascinating.
Oh. And again, for what purpose? Or is
for
it
what
just
purpose?
a glitch, you know?
That's the thing. I mean, if this phenomenon is real, I guess we don't necessarily have to put too much like meaningful weight behind it, so to speak. I mean, I don't mean that it's not meaningful or it's not fascinating or it's not powerful. But like you said, is it more so just like a glitch? Is it something where, yeah, he did eventually go there, but not at that time that she experienced him going there? You know, they both just kind of intertwined on that, I don't know, parallel dimension, parallel existence, I guess. And one briefly stepped into the other's existence at that time, right?
Yeah. I mean, to me, you know, well, I'm very gullible the way it is, believing a lot of things. Well,
not gullible. You're open-minded, and I think that's awesome.
Right. You know, and these things obviously happen a lot to have them being reported and having stuff come up about it that's discussed or written about or whatever. I don't know. There's got to be a reason for it. It can't be just some.
You're saying it's more than just a glitch. More than that.
There's got to be a meaning to it. I mean, it's something that's so profound. Even like a small example. Well, that's not really a small example, but like, say you seeing this woman that has been dead for 2 years or whatever,
yes,
and not being like a ghost or whatever, but there's reasons these happen. No matter how small they are, it was a small of an encounter.
Mm-hmm.
We just can't wrap our human minds around.
We can't.
Of why?
No. And I can see it in your face right now via the computer or via the monitor here. I can see that your mind is racing because it's impossible to wrap your mind around it in a way to soothe us, right?
Yeah.
It's something that we just have to accept that we can't understand it.
But that's the thing, though, is I can't just accept it as, well, it just happens. There's got to be a reason for it.
Yeah, it's utterly fascinating. And
I don't.
Go ahead.
I don't feel anything negative about it. I mean,
no, I don't either.
The doppelganger thing, you know, the malevolency to that, I don't know.
I'm not sure about that
enough, but all this other stuff, the Vardøger and all this, and there's reasons for it, and we just can't.
And Mike, I've shared this.
What it could be.
I've shared this on the podcast before many times, and I briefly talked about before we started recording. Like my kind of similar experience here years ago in my own house when I'm by myself. I'm by myself. No one's in the house. Kids are gone. I had a day off. Kids are at school. Bridget's at work. And I'm there. I'm standing there playing my guitar in my living room. And I hear Bridget coming up. The car pulls up. I feel like it's the car pulling up. I feel like her walking on the front deck, coming up to the front door. The dogs reacted. The dogs ran to the door because they're all excited, waiting for mom to come home like they always do. You know,
and that says a lot right there. You know,
and then I'm just waiting for her. I'm like, oh, she's home. She came home early, or I don't know, maybe taking a lunch break or something, or And I'm waiting for her to come in the house. Nothing. She's not there. She's not on the deck. The car isn't there. What the hell did not only just me, but the dogs think was going on at that time?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you had another example of that happening with, like, you thought one of the kids was in the house behind you in the hallway or something like that.
Oh, that's happened several times. Yeah, I've seen. This was 4 or 5 years ago now, when I'm standing in the living room or standing in the kitchen, and Bridget's sitting in the living room, and the hallway is to my right, and I'm looking straight ahead, like talking to Bridget or looking at the TV up on the wall or whatever it was. And then I see Jaden walk past me down the hallway, like going towards the upstairs bathroom. And I just kind of glance, I see out of the corner of my eye type thing, and I'm like, I didn't think much of it. And I'm just waiting there because I'm figuring she's in the bathroom, and takes a while. I was like, God, she's still in the flipping bathroom. Then I finally go and peek around the corner and realize the bathroom door is wide open. She's not in the bathroom. She's not upstairs anywhere. She never came upstairs, even though I totally swear that she walked right past me to go to the bathroom upstairs.
And when you saw her, you could immediately identify this as Jade.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, it's one of those feelings, these feelings. You don't have to be sitting there looking directly at them.
Right.
But you just know. It's the same height. You feel like it's the same height, and it's just out of the corner of your eye. It's like, oh, that's who that is. I just felt it. That was her.
Yeah. Like, who else could it be? But then when you find that out that it's not, and it wasn't,
yes.
Is that a doppelganger? Not a doppelganger. Is that like an experience that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Jaden, her soul.
Just kind of getting out ahead of herself for whatever reason. I love this conversation, Mike. Stuff like this I find so cool. I'm telling you, it blows me away. It just really makes you wonder, right?
But it doesn't matter what we think.
No, what do you think? You know what? I'm putting this out to listeners right now. Have you guys heard or have you experienced anything similar to this? If you have, reach out to us. Let us know. We'd love to do our own. We'd love to go back to our ghost stories episodes where we share listener experiences, and oftentimes have the listeners on as guests sharing their stories. If anything like this has happened to you, reach out, message either me or Mike or the podcast page. We'd love to hear about it because this stuff is so cool and so fascinating. We'd love to hear it.
It is extremely fascinating.
Mike, this has flown by like it usually does. This has been a really fun discussion. I appreciate you finding the time to do it since you were just recently basically an invalid for the last 8 days.
Yeah,
so
basically.
I appreciate you putting the effort forth, and so does George Bush.
Sounds to me like he can't figure it out.
No, that's Mike's a Vardøger looking at him.
And I can just picture his face when he's doing that too. I don't know. And it's probably not the only time he did that. I don't know.
Yeah. So, well, Mike, this has been awesome. This has been awesome. I appreciate it. I hope you and Mary have a great evening. I will be in touch with you. Would you care to make an AI image for this episode? Do you think you could do that, or do you want me to whip something up?
Usually I have a thought in my head as we're going through the episode of what it could be, but I have nothing. I have nothing.
God dang it! Now I have to find that. Okay, it's here.
I have nothing.
That's one of my favorites. Here we go, Mike. What do you got in mind?
I have nothing.
There it is.
That soundbite has been going through my head lately because not to talk about my lacking physicality or anything like that, but I am kind of wasting away a bit. I am atrophied in places that I don't want to be atrophied. I hold my arm. Look at, I have nothing there. Look at that. That's like 90 frickin' year old arm slab. And I'm showing Patrick right now. Look, that used to be bicep.
This is what Mike.
There's nothing.
Mike says this.
Nothing.
Mike says this every time when he looks in the mirror.
I have nothing.
Yep. And a slow tear just dribbles down his cheek.
When I have to go to the bathroom so bad and I can't go, Because my old ass prostate, I say the same thing.
I have nothing.
No, anyway.
On that one.
I'm a happy person.
Is that true, Mike's stomach? Okay. Even though it's not his stomach. Anyways, that's Mike's Vardøger right there, helping with the recording. Okay, Mike, I will let you go, buddy. I will get the episode out. I'll put together a quick little image, and hopefully the listeners enjoy this.
I shall share when appropriately ready to do so.
Yes. I hope you enjoyed this, too, because this is one of my favorite discussions in a long time.
Absolutely.
I love this.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love this. Awesome. Well, my friend, until next time, what do our paranormal podcasting pals need to do?
If you don't know by now, just listen and peace out.